I had built a tiny house back in 2011 as an experiment in minimalism that I only intended on doing for a year. This was way before tiny houses were all tricked out, and mine was really basic. I built it on nights and weekends when I wasn't working my $12 an hour job, and living in such a confined space was supposed to be a challenge. However, I instantly loved and took to the forced simplicity, so I started looking for land to make it a permanent living situation. I ended up buying this dusty, empty lot on the outskirts of town and moved my house there. It was shortly after that I started to entertain the idea that I might be able to build something else and start to rent it out. I had always wanted to build a treehouse, and I decided that Hawaii would be a perfect place to put one. Mind you, I had never been there before. I just looked on Craigslist, found a piece of land that somebody was selling for $8,000, and they were willing to accept payments, so I snatched it up. I wasn't able to go there immediately because I got a job touring the country as a spokesperson for Idaho Potatoes, which really worked out in my favor because that's how I was able to save up a little chunk of money that would buy all my building supplies. 8 months later, between tours, I was able to fly to Hawaii with my mom and not only see my land for the first time, but to build the treehouse. From the outside and at the time, it definitely could have seemed like a crazy idea, and maybe it was, but this is how I thought about it. I could build a treehouse and maybe nobody wants to stay there, and I just end up having a vacation home in Hawaii for my family and friends. Not too bad. But if I'm able to rent it out for 8 days a month, it would replace my current income. And if it did even better, then I might be able to fund future projects. And that's exactly what happened. I was able to make my money back in a little over 100 days. And a year later, I bought my second piece of land in Washington, where I built a Hobbit Hole. And then I bought and refurbished an old fire lookout tower in the Idaho Panhandle. And then my latest rental was that 6-ton potato that I toured with 7 years earlier.